What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Xanon here. I know I haven't been on this channel for a while. Take a break and just getting back into it. And I have been keeping up with information, just haven't been discussing the stuff with you guys that that's been going on. But you know, there's always information in this space, and I think I'm a bit behind with certain stuff, right? But just to touch on how Ripple with the UK is going to bring an impact to financial economies all over the globe, just not in UK, but how it starts off in UK and spreads like a wildfire, right? So this article was actually on the 15th of November 2022. It was actually like a couple of days, I would say almost 20 days ago, more or less. Right, so Ripple published proposed guidelines for UK regulators, and Ripple seeks to leverage its growing presence in London with regulatory white paper for UK policymakers. So you can see that Ripple, right, we know they have their own crypto uh, and token that has on-demand liquidity XRP, which we will go into discussion about that and how that's going to play out, right? So we see all these policies get made, right? The recommendations especially target the financial market service bill, which is set to become the national crypto regulation framework. When we talk about the framework, that's when the ISO 2002 messaging system, and not that there is ISO 2002 to crypto, but what's going to happen is there's going to be a new network topology where there will be a layer, the blockchain network in itself, on top of the ISO 202 messaging system, which will be interesting, to facilitate a lot of these tokens besides just XRP. But the main focus of this is what XRP is doing is because of the lawsuit and the clarity and the regulations, and they all over the globe. And just to start, right? So, Ripple, the company running a business to business blockchain payment system, also bank to bank, that uses XRP, as I says XRP, to facilitate cross border payments, has released a regulatory white paper with recommendations for UK policymakers and regulators drafting laws on crypto policy in order to be able to operate more effectively here in order to continue growth in business. It matters. Looks like Susan Friedman, head of public group public policy at Ripple, told the block in an interview. And so we are invested in trying to ensure the best incomes. There's a lot to read up. We'll have this article in the description, but probably a lot of you already read this article, as I am behind with a lot of stuff here. But just to touch down on what's going on, right? So the Rishi Sunak also coming into the powers, right? So let's see. There is no question that XRP is not a security. Right? FCA has described XRP as a hybrid exchange utility token. That's interesting. That it's not just saying decentralized but hybrid, meaning that there could be some centralized side to it. And now I do believe that XRP is decentralized, but Ripple is a company that is not, and you can issue the token. I do believe they can issue the CBDs of Ripple network and facilitate the XRPL for Rippling and all those kind of stuff, right? That goes into play. Ripple is currently in the process of filing a reply brief to summary judgment. Okay, so that's all the lawyer stuff, right? I'm not looking so much about how they impacting, right? You can see the framework's been put in place, and we've seen Rishi Sunak, right, come into power. Ways that I'm just all over the place now. Just give me a moment to find this. I go with Rishi Sunak, right? So let's see what's going on. So we see in the UK, crypto means business ripple. So you can see Operation London Bridge coming into effect, right? But just to touch on to Rishi Sunak and him, being just to look at his profile, right? Right. So we're looking to Rishi Sunak, knowing that he is now mm, he's the Prime Minister of the UK. With regard to right, so he is now legislating and implementing the blockchain facilities for the CBDCs, that which I do believe Ripple has that on their website. The CBDC report. For those that don't know what CBDC is, central banking digital currencies. That's what we see. Prime Minister of United Kingdom, leader of the Conservative Party, uh, so on, and then this is in this NHS family, so also in the medical background, so that's interesting, right? So, but just to look at where his experience, Prime Minister, Member of Parliament, Treasury, right? So that's how you know what's going on with him and the stuff that's going to go on behind closed doors with Ripple meeting with all these people in power, right? So we can see a few things that they are working with. We know the Bank of England is working with Ripple, facilitating XRP and other few. So then you have Department for Work and Pensions. I do believe that they have something going on there as well. But just look at how many different things that this guy is involved with in different parties, different cabinets. As you can see, House of Commons, Royal Mint, Cabinet Office, Department of Digital Culture, Media and Sports, British Business Bank, Department for International Trade, which I think is one of the biggest departments because the way we're going to trade in the future with tokenization and the digital economy, the stuff that they're doing, right? And that's just him. And then with him, I've seen him. What was it? Let's look for the people that they. Yeah. I've seen him congratulate Lula on the quote unquote victory. All right. So and then he says, I look forward to working together on the issues that matter to the UK and Brazil, from growing the global economy, keywords here, global economy, to protecting the planet's natural resources and promoting democratic values. Okay, uh, so let's put it this way, right? So they're talking about he is saying from growing the global economy, right? So we know that this part, growing the global economy, is about bringing in the digital economy, right? To protecting the planet's natural resources and promoting democratic values. Now, the key word when they say promoting democratic values, when it comes to democra- democratic parties, the they're more about crashing things down instead of building them up. So they're gonna usher in something, as we know, the policies are in place. But when they say promoting democratic values, it's a tale of two cities because they will crash the economy, as you know, they have dark winters and all those stuff happening. But just to go on board, right, that he is congratulating this guy Lula, who's not Brazil. We go back to BRICS, right? So let's go into the BRICS topic. Then we have BRICS working with SWIFT, and then BRICS, you know, just to say they are doing stuff with the Ripple XRP. As you can see, there's the ISO Brazil. It's not on here, but like the South African Reserve Bank. And let me find where is that Project Coca, right? So this is from the South African Reserve Bank, SARB Project Coca. They do mention Corda, Hyperledger, Fabric, Quorum, and Ripple, right? So Ripple has always, and in South Africa, XRP has been trusted twice. A lot of banks do have them in the back end, right? So focusing on the FedWire as well using Ripple. A lot of these banks, Samos, is one of those infrastructures, part of Project Damba, and those documents. The clearinghouse has Ripple, Bank of Russia, Reserve Bank of India. As in India, there is an Ripple head office, and then we see, oh, there's a lot that's going on here, right? Now, just to go backwards, and then with him putting those policies in UK and showing you Project Goka to mention Ripple here, the president of South Africa, as you see, Cyril Ramaphosa, he met with him, and this hands over the essays plan to rich countries. So this is about the digital trade. I don't actually know what's that book, but by what they initiating and following through everything, I know it has something to do with digital economy because I've seen his name on multiple documents. There is a video out there that I did of BRICS and how they joined to Ripple and new development. I will drop this video down below just to see. Yeah, that's the video, right? And then you see the president. Always pay attention to the numbers as well as I'm just looking at the 10. It looks more like 1 and 0. So those are binaries, matrix kind of stuff. So
well, President, I'm delighted to welcome you here on this historic state visit. South Africa and the UK, obviously very strong partners, allies, friends, and we share so many of the same objectives, notably transitioning to clean energy whilst creating jobs and opportunity for our citizens. I'm very keen to deepen our relationship, as I know you are, and I look forward to discussing that after our meeting.
Well, thank you very much, Prime Minister, for receiving me and receiving my delegation. It's been a great honor to be visited here at the invitation of the King.
I'm just gonna stop it there. I will drop this video below, but you can see they're talking about clean energy, and both these guys are with the World Economic Forum. Ripple, other projects are with the World Economic Forum. So these guys, they know exactly what they're talking about with trade and stuff like that. They're trying not to let the cat out the bag, or even a little bit. They try and do stuff in plain sight, which not the masses kind of read, but just a few can see through that BS, right? What they're trying to push. So that's one thing that we have in meet with this guy. So that's all we have that. And we already spoke about the financial markets. Right? Congratulating Lula, Visa to buy British payments from Earthport, right? So these are one of the establishments that's part of the bank, right? So, but just to focus more on how everything is happening, and it's going to impact other countries as well with the UK, as you know, the quote unquote, or will My Fair Lady London Bridge is falling, so we know where that's going, right? So we've seen, and then look at the UK, right? So how many staff they are employing. In just the UK alone, there's 22 results open. They need a software engineer. Besides, like I know they're saying summer information, AirPonet payments, staff software, technical partner management. They're still looking for to partner global with other countries and other companies. Product managers, liquidity, senior database. There's just a lot directors and all these kind of spots that are opened here. As you see, there's a lot activity that goes on with Ripple in LinkedIn alone, and how they're looking to have people come on board and stuff like that. And just to we go to the Digital Pound Foundation, and I'm not gonna read the old thing, but Ripple's part of this, right? So privacy may ultimately become the key determinant for users of digital money in which they choose, whether it's CBDCs or specifically private issued digital currency that meets their privacy requirements, and accounts, wallets in which they hold and transact with the submit prefer providers that offer explicit backed in protections for privacy. Others may, in some use cases, see benefits to their data being ensured and may appreciate the prospect of tailored product and service offerings in the same way that people currently choose which financial institution to bank with, whether to pay by debit card and whether to withdraw cash from an ATM, or in some extreme cases to keep all the funds in cash. It is instantly available. When it will come down to consumer choice to extent which data privacy from a legal and whether by GDPR keyword. There's a lot of companies stuff or successor to it will play the key role. So they're talking about the CBDCs now. We do know that that's going to be coming onto XRP. XRP on its own decentralized, but the XRPL is something that the banks are going to use. And there is that private ledger that people talk about, and I do believe that there is that for them to do what they need to do as a banking infrastructure, while the public has doing their transactions with XRP. Because see, that's where the CBDs come in. If I'm paying you XRP, it's a direct payment to you. It does not go to the bank. If you have an XRP wallet, I can send that directly to you. It doesn't need to go through that, but they will use that's the Ripple network and XRP ledger for their CBDCs and so on, and SDRs and all those stuff, right? Then, just to touch on Rishi Sunak, he's married to the lady Ashkata Murthy. So she has a good background as well. Her dad owns in Infosys. So right, so but just to look at what they are doing as well. So they have a couple of. I was looking into. They have Felix Capital, right? Just to connect the dots, I have not seen that Felix Capital, but Infosys, I have found something more along the lines. Right, so let's see what Felix Capital is up to in the UK. Felix Capital raises 600 million to boost Web3 exposure. I do believe within the UK financial infrastructure, there would be something to be done with the XRPL and quote unquote Internet of Value, right? Because that's where they want things to go. But it was interesting to read, you know, the where they invest into Web3 and blockchain companies, right? So they have. So let's see where the London-based firm known as the Venture Capital for Creative Class now has 1.2 billion in total assets under. In expanding the interest, planning to grow exposure to a new platform for creativity, community, and of course entrepreneurship. Read the announcement post from Felix Capital. Frederick Courts, the founder and investment partner of Felix Capital, mentioned that the company is actively looking to invest in at least 25 companies to tap into change in an interview with Forbes. Right? So they're looking for their hub. I'm not going to go into that. just where they focusing on, right? So in terms of crypto exposure, the firm has already invested in a few Web3 products, including Ledger. Ledger, with the UK saying dark winter, cyber pandemic, and all of the stuff that that's coming in the pipeline, you have to have a ledger, right? So, or whatever cold storage of trust that you choose. But this is where they've invested, and I do believe that they also have their stuff in cold storage, knowing what they're about to initiate, right? You should have a ledger, keep your crypto stored in that, not an exchange. Another one that did catch my eye was So Rare. As you see the World Cup that's happening, that I've been on that platform for a while. It's a great platform. If you want to check it out, I will drop my link for Sora below. It's a football platform and if, with NFTs and stuff, but it has very huge potential, right? And what they're doing. So anyway, besides that, Red Lightpark, a Bitcoin Lightning Network company. I don't know why they would invest in that, but they have the quote unquote tricks up their sleeve, right? If I have to put it in that way. Uh, Other fintech companies funded by including Juni, a banking platform. So they have others, right? So that, but now the key points to, right? So but when I get into is in Falsies stuff, right? Infosys and what they're really up to is they have some interesting stuff happen. I did see Ripple on this, right? So just to go back up here, pioneering, pioneering payments, renew the core, build the new. So they say payments is a difficult industry to innovate, considering it needs scale in a fragmented market, and that's where liquidity hub and stuff like that comes in to help scale the fragmented market, right? Nevertheless, digital technologies are helping banks innovate with new products and services. In this article, Natsivram and discuss a few such studies as possible, right? So they do talk about mobile payments, and I have found a pattern with these guys in doing something with mobile payments, which I find interesting because XRP has money tap and stuff like that. So to touch on that, I did see. I'm not going to read through this whole PDF. It's quite a bit of a long one as well. Just to touch on where they want to go with this stuff. Payment innovation. We're going to read through it. We're going to paraphrase through here because there's a lot. A true payment innovation should be an order of magnitude better than the incumbent product of service payment is the network effect, right? So effects required from all stakeholders, pay and rails makes it very difficult to disrupt. In the future, value transfer over the internet and the use of the distributed ledger can play potentially significant role in payment innovation. Distributed ledger keyword XRPL ledger, that comes straight to mind. Triple net, right? This stuff because, like I'm saying, Mati Narayan, I believe that's the name. And her dad owns Infosys and stuff like that, and they have all these investments and venture capitalists, right? Now they're saying we're seeing interest spiking in the use of math-based currencies and distributed ledgers in real-time international remittances, which leads to XRP and Ripple, right? Peer-to-peer micropayment system of record management and ownership transfer, digital identity management, and ultimately disruption of the trusted central intermediary model. One leading players in this Ripple lab. Ripple provides global financial settlement solutions, enable the world to exchange value like it already exchanges information, giving rise to an internet of value. Now, if you notice in this document alone, they they have like on the side you can see their name, Bitcoin blockchain, but they're giving us a full blown explanation of what Ripple is, so no one can come and say, "Oh, these people here were just pushing the Bitcoin agenda," because this information will be out there, and they'll be like, "But we told you about Ripple and XRP being Internet of Value, right? They have it stated in their documents in fine line, and they're giving you a full explanation of what they're doing here, right? By enabling the banks to transact directly, instantly, and with certainty of settlement, many banks and payment players are adopting Ripple and similar platforms, right? So they're saying Ripple and similar platforms. We know American Express, they are with Bank of America. We've seen patents, documents, Mastercard, where we've seen all these companies, and you can see those whole things, even some currency, Ripple, blockchain security, biometrics, so big data. So you can see this Infosys is talking a lot about Ripple. This document is a while back, right? But when you talk about Rishi Sunak and his wife, and you dig a little bit, you see what these guys are up to. Whether you hate him or like him, if you are invested in the fourth industrial revolution, uh, it's not about whether you like or hate these people or whatever. It's for your own self being at the end of the day and not being left behind, because a lot of people are distracted with a lot of events that are happening that shouldn't be a major concern. These are things that we should always come back to and follow the money and what's really happening, right? So coming back to this discussion right now, the stuff that doesn't seem to be anti-Semitic, but really that's going to benefit you and make sure that you and your family are taken care of, right? So we have all this information. I will drop this down below and what they're doing. We spoke about Project Goka, and then just to touch on SPI's Bunny Tap, right? Because I think this is going to be a huge thing as well for UK and the globe. Ripple owns a third of SPI's Money Tap blockchain payment platform, so it owns a third. That's actually a good amount. So they're going to utilize and put RippleNet and XRP Ledger onto MoneyTap, and other companies coming along. What's interesting is with having RippleNet technology invested into all this. So the first iteration of MoneyTap was launched by SBI Ripple Asia, a joint venture owned 60% by SBI and 40% by Ripple. That is an astounding amount that's owned by Ripple. There's not even like other shareholders. But look at it. SBI just owns 60 and Ripple owns 40%. Uh, that says a lot talking about this, right? Then it says we can skip through that, right? In the first 13 banks. Then it says in 2019, SBI offered shareholders XRP tokens as shareholder benefit, right? And so on. I will leave this below. Right now, with MoneyTap being SBI was once part of this other company, the Ripple's part of, and I think they're back in business together, right? They called SoftBank. Ripple partner SoftBank leads 800 million funding. Always come back to this article, even in previous videos. I touch on what SoftBank was doing, because SoftBank also plays a huge role in the networks, being part of Vodacom. Right, we see Vodacom and SoftBank into strategic alliance to support enterprise. But yes, before I come into this article, talking about England Money Tap and what they're doing with, and what I saw with the Infosys patent, right, that they have. This is the Infosys patent, I do believe, but this one is Infosys Technologies as generate token and a method and system to mobile-based money transaction across different transaction entity. Right now, And these guys are all in the government. And just to come back, Vodacom is Vodafone, right? It is owned 50 by 50 partnership by South African Telecommunications giant Telkom and British. And we have MSF Africa, which is also doing things right with Ripple. And we come back to with this article. Okay, this is more on the framework side with fintech and Ripple and stuff like that, right? But coming back to Vodacom, as you can see, working with governments here, and then they have this SoftBank Enter Strategic Alliance to support enterprise and let's say Japanese telecommunications. That's all I want to share, right? Yeah, if you just connect the dots, you can see where this is going with this stuff. You have everything just lining up, playing itself well. Then you have the pattern, which for the networks send a message and validate the token. That's another figure of it. That's just all the updates of communication. Right, but you see all these are played out with the banks, with the UK infrastructure that will take place in the global effect as well that we do see happening, right? And now let's see what else there is. I think we practically touched on here. I wanted to get to how instead of XX underscore red. So just explain what's happening. See the global takeover as we speak, right? So with Ripple, a CBDC platform, as you can see, goes down XRPR. So they onboard standard automated program interface, enable integration of CBDC platform into existing systems. So they have an interface for their CBDCs gets minted. Minting is like how you would mint tokens, but these are the currencies that will then go on to the ledger as the banks use this platform to controls to mint CBDCs. Then issues can send CBDCs authorized accounts. Only valid participants can hold and receive the CBDCs. That will mean your banks will issue the. So if you have a company that sends money to you, right? These companies now and your banks working with RippleNet will have the XLSD20 and how they issue money uh, to you. And you don't want to get too much into the dark side of this, but it does go really dark when it comes to CBDCs, right? In terms of universal basic income is where they can control your money and stuff like that, and issue it on. That's something that I don't really get into right now, as we know that's happening, right? We see that all the time, and just to finish off this map, which is more important, right? We know that's what's going to come along the way. Transactions settle into the 3 seconds. Interoperability enables cross-asset and cross-border transactions when connected to another CBDC. So not only like cross-border from one country to another with a dollar to a pound or pound to a rand, but also cryptos cross over. Like if you have XRP, like I can take an Ethereum token and convert it over to another token of my choice. It can be, I can say, Energy Web token, and the model lining of that is going to be the RippleNet software validated with the XRPL as well in it. That XRP, that's what makes the XRP ledger special, as that XRP ledger is what allows the conversion to take place of all this stuff and instant settlement. when they're doing the transaction. Redeem participants can return funds on the CBDC to issuer in exchange for fiat. So as we are not on the precipice of, we know it's coming, right? So and we don't know how that's really going to play out, but we know there's a cyber pandemic coming. But while that happens, we will still have cash. I do believe they won't just run cash straight into oblivion, right? But then you see it destroy CBD platform secure destructions of currency. Bank has full control of supply. Scary stuff, right? Uh, as we talk about that, banks control supply, redemptions, and participants of who can hold and use the CBDCs. See, it says control redemptions participants who can hold and use the CBDCs. No, my big mouth probably, stuff that I've said about the government and stuff like that. So I don't think, we know where CBDs are going. If you say something out of line, you've seen this happen with Andrew Tate and Kanye West and stuff like that. They're freezing their bank accounts, and these are the test runs right now that PayPal and stuff is doing. But they're gonna come after you, me at some point, uh, with these stuff. But they definitely gonna come after us just to get back into that picture wrap. Now, where is this picture? Just give me a moment, guys. And we're back. Right, so back into the picture. Yeah, I was saying with the CBDCs, it's a more of controlled demolition where if you say something based on your tweets, and that's what the Internet of Value is, a good thing and a beautiful thing that it comes down. If you say things that, you know, where you are a free thinking person and will not comply, they will, shut down your bank, do stuff. That's why it's important to have XRP on its own, cold storage. I do believe at some point they will try to get control of that, but XRP is actually a safe haven when this whole thing does happen, where because you can't literally freeze XRP, right? They can freeze their CBDCs on the Ripple XRP as they issue that, but they can't, uh, freeze XRP. So that's where they don't have XRP in their control, right? So you see that, right? And then let's look at what the CBDC platform is, since the official policies and stuff like that are taking place. Ripple CBDC platform: stability, secure and resilient, interoperability and overlay services, access and inclusion, sustainability. When they say stuff, because they're gonna have set dates to these currencies where they will expire, and then they will burn them and they will reissue them and those kind of stuff. But the beauty of XRP is it's a liquidity and can be used as anything. As you can see, Ripple's design CBDCs provide means to bridge currencies with XRP allows efficient cross-asset and cross-border transactions. So cross-asset can be, we talk about the ESDR bank balance sheets and all those kind of stuff. Assets, commodities, cross-border transactions with countries, currencies. And then the XRP ledger, the beauty of the XRP, that each country's CBDC is hosted on a private XRPL. Access for participants is granted by admin and is fully secured. That's when we talk about admin is basically the banks that host this, right? So we see this coming to fruition in stages, right? We do see these stages take place. As we know, Ripple means business, and you can see these things coming to pass. I know there's a lot to take into this video, right? Uh, so by any means, this was not financial advice, alright? So, but just to touch on where we're heading with the financial economy and the new system that's coming aboard, right? And I thank you guys for watching this video. If you'd please like and subscribe, that'd be great. And thank you for your time watching this video. I'm out. Cheers.